Hey everyone, it's Alison Heikkila. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm in the mood to play with some more alcohol inks. A few weeks ago, I had done a fun rainbow card with alcohol inks, and now I want to do another one, but this time more of an abbreviated rainbow. We're going to use Gumball, Vineyard, Aquamarine, Laguna, and Mojito. These are some of my favorite colors of alcohol inks. I particularly love using Gumball, Laguna, and Mojito together, so I'm excited to do that today and add in the Vineyard and the Aquamarine. Vineyard is a gorgeous purple. Aquamarine I don't use too often, but I'm excited to see how it plays with the other colors. So for my paper, we are using poster board paper from Jot. I get this at Dollar Tree, and you get, this is old packaging. It used to be 4 pieces. I think there might be more in there now, but it's it's 11 by 14. So it's a huge piece of poster board paper. And this is what I use instead of Yupo. This stuff is super inexpensive, and the alcohol inks don't move as much as they do on Yupo, which to me is a bit of an advantage. I'm okay with letting loose and letting things kind of happen organically, but I find that with Yupo, although it's fun to play with, it moves a little too freely and I can't control it quite as much as I would like. So I find that the poster board paper is a great substitution for that, and that's what we're going to be using today. Use what you've got, use whatever colors you have, it doesn't matter, we're just going to play and have a good time. I also have my alcohol ink blending solution and a spray bottle of isopropyl alcohol. So the way I like to do alcohol ink most often is I'm going to apply a layer of the blending solution to my poster board paper. Also, I've lifted up the craft mat that goes here on my glass board because if you get alcohol ink on it, it will stain. And now I'm going to just apply a bit of each of these colors in this kind of abbreviated rainbow. Seriously, look at how gorgeous that Laguna color is. Oh, I can't. Such a pretty color. And now we're going to just kind of go back and forth and move these colors around and get them to blend a bit, but not too much where we get, we lose each individual color. And we'll probably need to add a little bit more. I'm not really sure how that happened, but it happens to me all the time. But it's fine. We can always hide it if we need to. I think we need a little bit more of that Laguna because it's my favorite. And I'm just using this blower tool. This was actually meant for markers. You put a marker in here and it sticks out the front, and this turns it into an airbrush, but I don't use it like that. I use it for this, and I find it works out really well. So typically I don't cover my whole panel. I leave some white space and make things really wispy, but I don't really want to do that today. I like how this is filling up the whole thing. Might need a little bit more blending solution over here, perhaps a little bit down here. That really broke it up, huh? And we're just going to go back and forth. What do we think of that? I think that's really cool. I pulled a second panel just in case, but I'm not sure that we even need it. So I'm pretty happy with this. I don't know. I might need a little bit more color down here. Alright, I grabbed Everglades, and I was thinking about using this before, but I wasn't sure if I really wanted something quite so dark. But the Vineyard is pretty dark, so we're going to go for it. And just kind of deepen up the bottom here so that it's not quite so light. Got that little spot there that doesn't want to take color. But a little bit more, and then I think we might be done with this background. And then we just have to let it dry. I don't want these like fingery looking things happening, so I'm adding a little bit more blending solution, which is probably more than we need, but that's all right because I have a trick if we get it sticky. If you've watched my alcohol ink videos before, you'll know what that trick is, but it's always fun to do. Let's see. All right. How are we liking this? I think it's pretty cool. A lot of pink up here, but I'm not sure that I want to mess with it. I think I want to leave it. Make sure when you're working with alcohol inks, you're working in a well-ventilated area. Have a window open, a fan on, something like that, especially if you have any type of lung trouble like asthma or something like that. This is really pretty. A lot of pink though. I think that we're going to break it up with some isopropyl alcohol. So let's take that and we're going to open this up. You can spray it if you want to. You never want to spray any type of alcohol ink or blending solution. They have resins in them, and that can stick to your lungs, and that's not a good thing. So I'm just kind of splattering this here and there just to break up that color a bit and get some interesting things happening. There we go. That might be good enough. It really broke up that pink nicely, and it makes it not quite so flat anymore. I like that much better. Okay, we're going to let this dry. I'm going to close up all of my bottles and then we'll come back to continue the card. Okay, this is pretty dry. You can see that there are some super shiny spots like right here. So what I like to do is I take some Deco foil from Therm, and typically I use this one. This is the Iridescent. And I take a piece, could be a piece of scrap or whatever, and I put it on there. And I burnish it with my finger. You can use a bone folder too if you want to, but I just use my finger, and then I peel it away. And whatever foil is left behind is just taking care of the stickiness from the resins and all of that in the alcohol inks. And then you don't have to worry about it being sticky anymore. See how it's just picking up some of it? But it just adds a little something extra to the panel and makes it look really cool. You can also use, if you don't want to use foil or you don't have foil, you can take an anti-static powder tool and use that, but it's a little bit more magical. And you could see there really wasn't a whole lot that needed to be unstuck, but it just adds a little something extra. And I plan on using some holographic paper with this card, so that will add even more interesting things to this project. I think that's good. All right, it was actually a lot less than I thought it would be. You can't really see a whole lot. There's a lot here, but that's good. That means that I didn't really overdo the blending solution. Okay, so I have some holographic mirror paper from scrapbook.com. This pad is awesome. You can see that there's some foiled pieces here. This is a holographic one, but then there are these. Oh, look at that. Isn't that so cool? Stars, different stars, gold stars. And then this sort of confetti one. I was thinking about maybe using that. What do we think? I think that that looks pretty darn cool. But I don't want to waste all of this interior because that's a lot. So we're going to take a die and we're going to cut this down and then use it with our sentiment. Look at how cool that is. These are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it will fit right onto our card base, just like so, because I like to work in A2, so it fits perfectly. And we're going to just die cut that interior area. So I just have this rectangle die from my stash. You can use whatever shape you want. I just figured I'd go with the same shape that we're working with. And now I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. Okay, so that's cut. And then I have this excess piece that we can use for something else. And then this is going to fit right on top of that. But I want to do more. I want to do more to this panel. So I grabbed this ginormous embossing folder from Spellbinders. It's called Tiny Dots. And we are going to take this alcohol ink panel and run it through. And that is going to work really well with the dot pattern that we have happening on this holographic cardstock. So I'm going to just sit this in here like so. And we're going to run that through the die cut machine as well. But we're going to set it up for an embossing folder. And you really don't have to align this perfectly, but since they are linear, I would like for it to be kind of lined up properly. There we go. Okay, let's see what we've got here. And if you wind up with any alcohol ink on here, like I've got a little bit of green happening here, you could just use your isopropyl alcohol to clean that up. Wow, that really stuck. Okay, yeah, there's some, but that's okay. We can just clean that up later. All right, now we've got this cool panel that's even cooler because of the dots, but we can take it further because they're a little hard to see. So I've got a sanding block here. This is really old. It's from Coordinations. If you've got sandpaper, just use sandpaper. That's essentially what this is. It's just attached to this block with Velcro just to make it a little easier to hold. And we can just sand the top of this, which would be removing the color from those dots. You could see the pink all over here. Just going to sand this really quickly. It reveals the dots and just makes the panel even more interesting than it already was. You can skip this step if you want to, but I thought it would be fun to incorporate an embossing folder. All right, now we've got to just clean this up. Okay, I used a wet paper towel for that because I didn't really want any of that dust hanging out on any of my reusable towels. Look at how fun that is. That's super cool. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this extra piece and we are going to use it for our sentiment. So I have this thank you from Simon Says Stamp and CZ Design. I love the sentiments from CZ Design. They are some of my favorite. I love the font that she chooses. They're always the best. If you don't have any, you should get some. Okay, we're going to use this for our shadow layer. So I'm going to just take this and cut it down with my scissors. These scissors are from Uniquely Creative. They're fantastic. I love them a lot. Anyway, I'm going to take that, run it through with this, and then we just need to decide what color we want our thank you to be. I don't want it to be green. Maybe this blue in here. That might be cool. Oh, I have an idea. Hold on. I just so happen to have this on my desk. This is an older Stamp Anything paper pad. It's called Stripes and Dots. I don't think it's available right now, but look, there's, well, stripes and dots. And these colors might be perfect. Look at that. How fun. What do we think, guys? I think that this is actually perfect. Is there such a thing as too many dots? Do we like this blue better? Let's see. Nope. This one. See that? It just happened to be on my desk. All right, I'm going to run these through the die cut machine and then we'll finish up our card. Okay, these are all cut out. Get our pokey tool and just poke out that little piece there. Look at how fun this is. Okay. What do we think? I actually think it's a little too light. We might need to go darker. Look at that. See, you don't know if you don't try. And honestly, it's okay if it's not going to work. I can just choose another piece of cardstock and save that for another time. So here's the purple. I think the purple might be too light as well. We might just go with the pink. Let's see. That pink is going to stand out really nicely. And I'll just save these for another day. Yeah, I think that we're going to go with that. Okay, back to the die cut machine. Okay, So I left this blue shade here just so that you can see how much bolder the pink is, but also, wouldn't it be cool to do it in two different colors? You can totally do that. The fonts are different, so it lends itself even better to doing it in two different colors. But in this case, we're going to just make it all pink. But don't worry if you start with an idea that you think is going to work and then you have to sort of pivot and do something else. If you're a Friends fan, you'll get that joke. But I'm going to adhere all of these things together. I'm not going to make you watch me do that, and then we'll finish up our card. Okay, here's our finished card. I went back and forth, and I was going to use some sequins, but when I tried putting them on, I just didn't really like how they looked. So I decided to not use it. Sometimes less is more, although this card is really not less at all. It's kind of extra, but I didn't think it needed it. So that's it for me today. I hope that you learned a couple of things. I hope that you'll break out your alcohol inks and combine them with your embossing folders and try to experiment a little bit. I will be back very soon with another video. Be sure to check out my blog to see more projects that I don't have on YouTube, and be sure to also expand the description box below to get links to all of the supplies that I used, plus additional information. I will see you all very, very soon. Be well, stay safe, peace out.